of a town ripped in two.
Y esa canción fue Señorita del señor DJ Eric. Esto fue el Bestia 141.9 FM. No vayan a cambiar la estación. Ahorita vienen con ustedes los mejores, los máximos Foolish Minds.
Hey guys, and welcome to a very long-anticipated new episode of Foolish Minds. I'm your host, Kevin.
And I'm Lou.
And this is very, very overdue, and we are extremely sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not really sorry.
I mean, I'm not either, but, you know, when you're busy, you're busy.
You know,
and
shit happens.
You're not supposed to explain yourself for people. That's what I learned in my personal health and development class.
Yeah, I'm the man.
I'm the man, and I'm in control of my own destiny.
Yeah.
This is my ship I'm saying.
I am not the woman in my own relationship.
I don't understand what it was in reference to, but okay. No, but in all seriousness, guys, we are very sorry. It's been taking us a while to, you know, get the time to actually record and upload a new episode.
Yeah, school and work for you is really busy.
Specifically, I'm the one working here in this relationship, but
yeah.
This is our other job. Our podcast is our job.
Yes.
That's what happens when you work your own hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, school's been really busy, and you know, I've been busy on the weekends, and since he does nothing but I do something, it's kind of hard to find a medium there.
Yeah.
So
I do think.
let's catch them up, Lou. What have you been doing?
Well, besides school, I've been playing my online game. That's pretty much it.
Let's start with the basics. What classes are you taking?
Right now, well, we have the psychology class.
Give us your schedule so they can find
Motherfucker. Cerote. No, you know, we got psychology. I have a humanities class. Then we got art with some very, very lovely young ladies in there. And a cool homie. Shout out to the homie Adan. You probably will never hear this, but, you know, you cool.
Hey, Adan, if you actually listen to this episode, I want you to, what should we have him do?
I don't know. Rub his belly. I don't know what you mean by that. Like,
no, like, we have to, like...
Smash that motherfucking like button!
Let's have him do something subtle that we will forget about ourselves, so that when he does it, we're like, why'd you do that for? And then we'll have, like, a flashback to we asking him for this moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, like he said, I'm actually taking 3 classes with Lou here.
Yes.
The personal growth and development class, which is
I forgot about that.
very beneficial for self-deprecating people like myself. But it's a really fun class. The teacher is actually a counselor at the school, and like he really knows what he's saying and what he's doing. And
yeah, I feel like he got into that profession to really help kids.
He's one of those genuine people you actually believe when they say, "My goal in life is to help kids."
Yeah,
like,
he's really trying to help, and he's been helping us a lot.
Even when you're absent or late, he always worries about you. He's like, "Glad you can join us. I'm really happy you're here," and it makes you feel better about yourself because you're kind of like someone actually cares
and wanted. Yeah.
And then following that is our psychology class, which is
a bore.
Something Lou isn't used to, but when I was, and I'm phrasing it like this on purpose, when I was doing my time at Pomona, I was used to big lecture halls and professors who don't really give two shits about you, and you're left on your own to try to pay attention and try to pass the class and do all that.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty decent class. I mean, I'm still stuck in my old habits. I'll listen to the professor for like the first half, and then the next half I'm on Reddit watching some sick YouTube League of Legends plays, and we actually ran into an old friend of ours. Shout out to Audrey.
Oh yeah, her.
She moved to the middle of nowhere somewhere where it snows a lot apparently, and she's been. It was nice to see her in that class. And
it was.
It's really nice connecting with her again. She makes us feel like
I really didn't expect to ever see her again. To be honest, I thought like she'd be one of those people that I would just remember.
In all seriousness, it's just one of those people that when you ask someone who's the last person you're thinking of right now,
that's one of them. She's one of them.
She would not even on your mind. She's absent. She's been deleted from your mind.
Yeah.
So she really is the last person you'll ever think of.
I thought she was just gonna go on with her life, and I will never see her again. Just like a lot of.
Just what happens after high school.
Yeah, you know, life happens.
So it's pretty nice having her around in that psychology class. That gives me another shoulder to lean on when I need help.
Yeah.
So far, she's been needing my help with the note taking because she can't see because we picked really bad seats.
Seek help, Audrey.
After that, on those days, I actually have a journalism class, which I'm enjoying thoroughly.
Yeah.
he's making us keep in touch with the current news and helping us find out what bad news is and what good journalism is. And I really appreciate it just because, just much like with the professor, I too like to know everything that's going on. I don't like to be in the dark anymore. I like to know even if things get me sad, I just like knowing it happens, because I like answering my own questions. I don't want to have any more what ifs. I want to know the answers.
Mm-hmm.
And the class and then we have an art class. The off days we don't have those. Well, I have those 3 classes.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool class. Met some really nice people, and those people are very endearing in my heart. It's nice to know those kind of people exist, and
definitely
they're just the type of people you look forward to in the class from then on. And we made a special friend, like we mentioned earlier, Adan, who we didn't expect to be friends with.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I didn't even expect to really make friends at all, because
that's what happens when you have a friend in the class. You just choose to associate with that one person, and you kind of close yourself off.
Well, it's not even but it's not even that, because I feel like it's not that I'm shy, but I just tend to gravitate to myself, especially if I was in a class where I didn't have a friend already in there. I just stick to myself.
You're very conserved. I don't make reserved. And
yeah, I think it's just because it's hard for me to make new friends, because I have this a preconceived notion of people, and how they are, especially I don't want to call them average people, but I would say the average person, that listens to the mainstream music and watch the mainstream movies and don't really have much depth to them, because there are people like that, So I usually wait for people to really open up. Or to show some sort of promise of that deepness,
of lasting friendship he's looking for.
Yeah.
If you want to put it in a douchebag phrasing, Daniel wants you to prove you're worthy of being his friend before he actually tries to be his friend.
Yeah, I don't want to be friends with a dumbass either.
I mean, why not? They add a little spice to your life.
So stupid. I mean, because you can't hold a conversation with somebody that we'll talk about oh yeah, Trump is stupid because he does this and that. I'm like, well, do you even know what he's doing?
No.
Not that I'm saying I do and shit, but if we were to talk about something like that, if I were to talk about that and I knew about it, I would like the other person to have a bit of knowledge as well. Not that I'm belittling them because they. So
you wouldn't want to teach them?
No, because I don't feel like I'm a teacher, to be honest. I do find moments where I like to teach people certain things, and I'm in that.
But when it comes to a conversation, you'd rather not.
Yeah, because I feel I don't have to teach my friends things, Now there's a difference, because you and me, we're different than just friends. We're more than just regular friends,
We're lovers.
Yeah, we do occasionally.
Star-crossed lovers.
Yes.
So
it's different, because I want you to better yourself, but if somebody that I just met, I'm just man,
Understood.
Yeah.
But he has a humanities class right after that.
Yeah. I did make that class. His name is Adam. It's a pretty cool dude.
Adam and Adam.
Oh, I don't see where you're getting at with
Adam
this.
and Adan.
Audrey.
I'm finding a connection here.
Is there anybody in journalism?
And they're all triangles. An A is basically a triangle, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And that's 3 people.
Illuminati!
Wait. So, Audrey, Adan, and Adam all start with an A.
Yeah, I thought that was
the person that sits in front of me in journalism class is named Alexis.
You're so fucking stupid.
Now,
Art Alexis? Our teacher's name is Alexis?
Art teacher is Alexis as well. Hold on. And that's... But we're just cutting off all the adults here. That's 3. That's 3 people with a name starting with an A.
Yeah.
A triangle has 3 corners.
Really? I didn't know that.
An A is pretty similar to a triangle. And we always talk about
it
triads.
It actually has a triangle in the letter.
And oh my God, you're right. And
Illuminati,
and you're always a believer of the triads. The triad theory.
Oh, the trio.
This is unbelievable. Why have we... Wait, do you think
we're supposed to meet them? Friends?
Are we supposed to meet them on purpose?
Maybe. I don't know.
Or are we supposed to unite them?
Well, when I die and I meet God, I'll tell him. I'll ask him. Or the next time I go on a trip, I'll let you know.
I'll make sure to shout it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on with the episode. Today's a pretty I don't want to say serious. It's just more of our opinion on things. We're not gonna be really referencing things of outside. These are more of real life issues that we have experience with.
Yeah.
That we'll try our best to give feedback on. These were most of the AMA questions, but we decided since there were so many of them that were similar, we decided to put them into one topic as the meat and potatoes of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that said, what do you want to call the topic? Relationships?
I suppose.
I don't want to call it relationship because people have the predisposition that we're talking about boyfriend girlfriend.
Right.
We're just
well,
talking
then
about,
we can address that.
we can address that too.
When we're like right now, like when we're talking about relationships, we mean the bond or interaction between another one human being and another human being. That doesn't really necessarily mean a romantic relationship because, for example, Kevin has a relationship with his father. That relationship is son and father. You know, there's a difference between a romantic relationship and then just a normal relationship, which means like a bond between two people.
I remember one time I told a girl this relationship is going nowhere just because I couldn't hold a conversation
and she
with
thought
her.
You were talking about a romantic.
She hit me with you know we're just friends, right? And I was just kind of like, I understand we're just friends. I'm just saying a friendship is a relationship as well.
Exactly, yeah. We're talking about boats here, people. Boats.
Boats.
We're all in them, all right?
I'm in a boat with you. I'm not saying I'm sailing with you. I'm just in a
it's
boat
not a
with
lover's boat. It's just it's a boat.
It's not that swan boat you take in the tunnel of love and shit, but you know, it still stands. So that's gonna be the meat and potatoes. We have an AMA from a viewer named Astrid. That'll be later in the episode, and then we're gonna end it with the college segment.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was that email we never replied to?
Yeah, there you go.
And then we'll do the college segment at the end, and then that should be it. This should be more than enough for you guys who are begging for another episode. All right, so let's get on with it. What was the first segment that we were, or the first part of the relationship discussion?
All right. Well, I think we could start with soulmates. Do they exist, or like does everybody have somebody they're meant to be with, or can anybody fall in love and have that sort of relationship where, quote unquote, they're soulmates? You know, like care for someone so much that you feel that you were meant to be with this person, regardless of your belief of like it actually, you know,
being an act of God or something.
Yeah, you know, or like, oh, we were born, and we were born with someone that was meant to be with us, with me or whatever, and I was meant to be with them.
Well, I mean, to start off, I guess I'll just put my view on this. I don't believe soulmates exist.
Okay.
Period.
Right.
And just a bit of history on that answer. It's just I don't believe in living your life for someone. I mean, in some ways I do, because I do strongly believe in family.
Right. Yeah, I was going to bring that up because
I do have a strong belief with family. I do believe family, and
yeah.
I love them and have a strong relationship with them. And, you know, if there was some sort of weird scenario where to save my brother, my sister, or my mom and my dad, I would have to die, I would do it with no hesitation.
Right.
So for me, it's kind of weird for me to say I don't believe in soulmates, just because I know a relationship is a partnership between two people. Like, you build with each other, you mature with each other, and whatever.
Yeah, you grow.
But sometimes, I don't know, I guess maybe I just never experienced it, but it's weird to me to believe that there's some people who are so heartbroken or so caught up with not having that significant other. Because I always feel like that just stems from a disattachment from their family. When people cry that, you know, I've met people who say that they can't be alone, they can't be single, they have to have a boyfriend, they have to have a girlfriend.
I used to have that same problem.
And myself. To me, that was just kind of weird, and I feel like that was just, they probably just have mommy daddy issues because they never got that love.
Right.
They're just alone because they never had the attachment. They never had that nurture growing up.
Yeah.
So for me, that was my only explanation to how people can actually live their life with that, because that's just weird to me. I don't see how people can be so heartbroken, so ached, and so depressed from not having someone to be there for them. You know.
Right.
Because I do believe in self-help. I do believe in you have to learn how to love yourself, how to live with yourself, because that's all you got to the very end. And if you're not happy with yourself, you're just displacing the unhappiness. Sometimes people are sad, and you know, when they break up with a certain other, they'll say something. Or again, this is not just relationship like boyfriend girlfriend. I'm talking about friends.
Yeah.
There can be instances where they don't have that special person in their life anymore, and they'll be so sad, so depressed, they'll go back into a hole they were in before. So for me, in a way, I just don't like that idea that being with that certain other makes you forget all your problems. Because I believe that you have to work on your problems to truly be happy with someone else.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
because when you let go of that relationship with that special person in your life, you go back into that deep dark abyss that you were in before. Because again, you shove your problems, you hid your problems because that person, quote unquote, helped you forget about them. And I don't believe in forgetting your problems. I believe in working on them and growing as a person.
Right.
Because again, okay, you're in a relationship with someone, you have that special someone in your life, they help you forget all the bad shit. But then when they're gone, for whatever reason, death, disattachment, whatever, they moved away, you get sad because that person who helped you forget is not around, and you just remember all the bad shit. And I don't believe in that. I feel like you should really work on yourself first, so that way you can be happy truly in life.
I see what you're getting at. That's a good point. However, what about the people that have fixed themselves, and they're comfortable living alone, and then they do fall in love, and then they get heartbroken. They fall into a pit of despair and misery because they were so happy with that person, and then it was taken away. If you're happy in a relationship, no matter how or who you were before the relationship, if it ends badly, you're still going to be that hurt and miserable, after the relationship.
Do you believe all relationships end badly?
No.
Do you think there's a way
not
that...
all of them do, no.
So do you think there's a good
I've dated people that I've stayed friends with, and we've moved on with that, and we realized that we weren't right for each other, or we just, didn't, or weren't compatible.
To go on that first part you mentioned, then I believe that you were happy before you can be happy again.
Yeah, that's true.
You bring up a good point. You're right. They bring up a special part in you that you never knew existed, that were, quote unquote, you're happy with someone else. They're gone for whatever reason, breakup, death, whatever.
Yeah.
And you get sad. My only advice for that is, if you were happy before, you can be happy again.
Yeah. I believe.
That's why I kind of sympathize with people who weren't happy before.
Yeah, which is harder for the people that weren't happy to begin with, and then shove themselves into a relationship, trying to get away from that darkness, and then end up back there. I feel like maybe it actually feels worse,
right?
Because it's just shit that gets piled on top of more shit.
Because when you're in a low place and you go to a high place, the reason the fall back down hurts more is because you know what you're about to head into.
Yeah.
And you're scared of going back in that place.
Oh yeah.
And
Definitely.
which is why that's worse than someone who was already at a high before, gets into a relationship and goes into a low, because they'll know what happiness was before, and they'll be able to get back up there.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it is a little bizarre for me to have people who are so heartbroken after a relationship, because if you were happy before, you can be happy again. Or if you weren't happy before, then that's where I believe you should have worked on yourself first. And I'm not saying that's easy. We're all very complicated people. We all have different upbringings and different circumstances that shaped us to who we are and how we are as people. But it's just it's bizarre to me. Again, I could say it's because I'd never experienced that sort of attachment.
Right. But
for me, I just never understood those people who are so afraid of being single because they need to live their life for someone else.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where also they get their self-worth. And I feel like that's a good follow-up question. It's just do you believe they're so invested into a relationship to upbring their self-worth? Because there's some guy and girl in a relationship, either friendship or boyfriend-girlfriend, where you realize that they're doing everything they can for them. And when they leave, they're like, I did everything for you. Mm-hmm. Then you're kind of do you sympathize with that? Or what do you think? I
guess yes and no, because if you think about it in the sense... For example, our relationship, I would do anything for you, I got your back. You need help. I fucking help you. You need help. You help me. And then, because you get used to, I guess, leaning on that person, and when then they finally just up and leave, or they, you're like, sorry, but I'm not gonna be here anymore for you to lean on. It's a matter of how much time you invested in that, because you're specifically in a romantic relationship, you're with them because, at least for me, when I get into a relationship now, I'm thinking about the future. I hope that it's so that hopefully one day this could lead into marriage and a family with kids, the whole shebang. So for people that don't really think about the future like that, it feels like a time wasted when somebody just leaves and you're like, I thought, like everything was going great, or I wanted more out of this, and then they just completely killed it.
So do you think like casual dating is bad?
Well, not necessarily, because that's kind of how you sift through the shit and the coal of people looking for the diamonds. But I do believe it's bad at a certain age, because once you get older, you're getting older. And honestly, when I think of marriage and stuff like that, I also think of like, it's so that you have somebody to support you. When I see old couples, I get so happy, and I'm like, man, I hope I get that 80 years old, 90 years old with a grandpa with a cane and his wife, they're holding hands and they go everywhere together, and, they help each other out because that's who they got, to lean on. And you obviously don't necessarily, this doesn't mean you need to be in a romantic relationship for that. You and me, we can be 80 years old and we're still going to be like that, fucking like having our back, But I think that's what it's always all about. Like, you were looking for that. Like, for me, that since I never, I felt like I never had that. That's why I want that. And for some people, they don't. I guess maybe like you, and that's why casual relationships are more comfortable.
Well, then how do you address that issue? Because there's people who want just casual dating because they don't want to believe in that long term.
Right.
Because there's just commitment issues, and then there's just people who don't want to. They don't see it as time wasted. But like, how do you address that as an issue? Because when you get in a relationship with a girl, you're gonna ruin potentially. Because what if the girl changes your mind? Mm-hmm. What if you were really in the relationship as a casual thing, but then she changes your mind and you want to be with her forever? But if you were honest from the beginning and say, I just want a casual thing, and she leaves, do you think that's like a potential future wasted? Or do you believe she's not the one? Because this does piggyback on the idea of what a soulmate is. Mm-hmm. How are you going to find your soulmate without trial and error? So again, isn't it kind of like fucked up to like be honest with the girl from the beginning saying, this is just casual for me? But if like you didn't address it, she could change his mind. But if he had said it from the beginning, this is just casual for me, she could just walk away. That's why some people don't even say it, because again, life's a gamble, dude. So just in case the audience even understand that question, what if these two, guy or girl, guy, girl meet? Doesn't matter. These two people meet. They are not honest with each other. Okay. Yeah. They get into the relationship. Person A sees it as a short term, and person B sees it as a long term.
Right.
Sooner or later, they're gonna find out about each other's intent, and there's gonna be conflict.
Yeah.
But if person A was honest from the beginning that this was just short term, person B could have walked out from the beginning saying, I'm not gonna waste my time. Well, but there's always the possibility that person B could change person A's opinion on it, and could change his opinion to saying, you know what, I want to be with him forever.
Right. I see what you're getting at. And I think that there's a few other variables to take into account. For example, I to begin with, I think that honesty should be like the one thing that is constant in a relationship. You're really gonna get nowhere lying. I'm not saying that beautiful relationships don't blossom out of lies and things like that, because we live in a world where nothing is truly really guaranteed except for our own deaths. So I believe that both parties should be honest from the get-go, even though it might be a potential like, oh, in the future it changes mind. But we're always growing, so that could always, our minds could always change. But it's all about living in the moment, So if you don't really feel like you want a relationship in the future, then stick with that and be honest. Because if the other person is ready, then it's a timing thing. If only one person is ready, then even if the other person will be like the perfect match, I guess it's my opinion that people have to move on with their lives. Because if somebody's ready and they know they're ready, and even if because it's not guaranteed that person will be like the perfect match and it will be worth the wait, they should, because we can die any day. So if you're ready, then you gotta find somebody that's ready with you, and to do that with you, to take that leap,
And I feel like a lot of it stems from fear.
Oh yeah.
You meet that what you find or what you perceive as the perfect person, and you want to believe that they are in the same boat as you, but then the conflict happens when you find out that they're not in the same boat with you. Oh, this person just wanted a short term, and I want a long term. Right. They get so heartbroken because they believe that was the one. They believed in the idea of soulmates, right? And this is where I'm gonna reference one of, not my favorite rappers, but a pretty decent rapper. I'm gonna reference Lil Dicky here. Shout out to my white boy. He has a song called Molly, or something like that.
No, yeah, it's Molly.
It's Molly. Mm-hmm. And in the chorus, sung beautifully by Brandon Urie.
Do we know him?
I think so. All the emo kids should know him.
No, I mean like personally. Like that sounds like a name like that I
Brandon Urie, Panic at the Disco.
Oh, never mind then.
You were so into your emo days that you knew him personally.
No, dumbass. Not even like that. I just mean like I feel like that was somebody from high school, because it just sounded like it rang a bell.
You're probably thinking of Brandon Ariano or that.
Maybe.
Anyway, he in the lyric in the chorus he says, "You can find another me to, you can find another me." Oh wait, hold on. You can find another me tomorrow, and that's the toughest pill to swallow. And that resonates deeply with me because, again, let's say that person finds out.
Do you want to like analyze that? Because I'm having a hard time understanding.
Okay, let me.
What are you interpreting from that?
Let me explain this the way I interpret it into and I'm a morph it into a public service announcement because this is how I feel about everyone.
Okay.
You're not special.
Oh, okay.
You're not unique.
Oh, okay.
You're not original.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's hurting a little more than I thought it would.
You're not a special snowflake.
That was specific. At least very specific.
I think I'm just fighting the millennials now.
Yeah.
I think I have an ongoing beef with Tumblr kids and millennials.
Yeah.
I think they're the same people, but
they are.
They're the one. I can hear them breathing. But what I was trying to get at is I personally don't feel like I'm unique. I'm not even gonna like reference this to the audience. If you feel like this, then snap your fingers while you listen to this. But I mean, I don't feel like I'm unique.
Right. The whole NPC conversation we had,
which we'll discuss at a later time.
Oh, definitely, hell yeah.
That's a discussion for another time. I discuss how I view my life as an NPC, not the main character not a main character of my story, but a standby character. But what I was getting at with is I don't feel like I'm special. Any sort of like person that runs into me could probably find someone else just like me. People can be goofy, people can be funny, people can be smart, people can be anything, Out of 8, what's our population? 8 billion? Something like that?
Too much. That's what it is.
Let's just put too much, because if I put a numerical value on that answer, people are going to be like, that's not the correct number, dumbass.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really count every single fucking person.
Well, we can. We have a population counter.
What I mean is, like, there are people that we could probably not reach,
Right. But what I was saying is, I don't believe, like, with all the people in the world today, I'm the only person that's like me. You feel me? There could be people that look like me, sure. There could be people that act like me, sure. I mean, where did my personality come from? I copied that from somewhere, right? You see the funny guy.
We're sponges, yeah.
We're sponges. You see the funny guy making funny jokes and you want to reciprocate that, so you just become the funny guy with the funny jokes, Where do you get your personality from? Is it really yours? Are you shaped by your environment growing up? That's where I believe, like, we're not unique, bro.
That can actually segue into a conversation I want to have. Maybe not today, but in another episode we can cover. Remember, I told you yesterday, I texted you while I was taking the train that what if we've been asking the wrong question and it's not about where we go after we die, but rather where did we come from before we were born? Like in personalities and stuff like that, Do we already have a preconceived personality, or are we really just a product of our environment?
If that sounds interesting to you, that's gonna be on our next episode. MLG.
Smash that motherfucking like button.
Back to the conversation. I know we keep sidetracking, and please forgive us, guys. This is our first episode in about a month, so that we're rusty again.
I want to die. But
we're rusty again. So anyway, just to answer the question I had earlier, there are 7.4 billion people in the world. So you mean to tell me, out of 7.4 billion people, there's no one like me? you can 100% guarantee there's no one like me. Haven't you had an old person saying, "Oh, you remind me of this guy. Oh, you remind me of this guy. Oh, you remind me of that guy." Yeah, because my personality is not unique.
Right, right.
I'm not the only person that's self-deprecating. I'm not the only person who's lonely. I'm not the only person who's sad. I'm not the only person
one that
who's
likes memes.
I'm not the only one who likes memes. I'm not the only one who likes Linkin Park. I'm not the only one who likes Kendrick Lamar.
Which is why hipsters are bullshit and that whole culture of, oh, I listened to them before it was cool.
There's a whole culture of you hipsters. You're not the only one. Yeah, you probably
because
never heard of them.
everybody wants to feel special, and I feel like that's also one of the problems with our overpopulation, that we're getting so lost in like the sea of people that we're trying so hard to be unique because there's so many of us, you know.
And it's difficult, and
that's a whole different conversation. I feel like we keep trying to like change the subject.
We're trying to change the subject.
We're talking about soulmates, and
we go back to what I was trying to say. Lil Dicky, you can find another me tomorrow, and that's the hardest part. So, which is true.
There's a lot of songs that say similar things.
God damn! Hold on, we got to recap what the question was for the people who are like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" The original scenario was if person A finds person B, and person A wants a short-term relationship, and person B wants a long-term relationship. Should person A tell the person B that they don't want a long term, they just want short term, or should they just keep it a secret and see where it goes?
Because everyone that's listening, I want you guys to comment or send us an email with what you think. With the question, what
in that scenario,
answer that question.
What's your personal belief in that situation?
We want to
know. Do you want that short term? The person A with the short term expectations to tell person B who wants a long term.
Right, be upfront about their intentions before the relationship starts growing.
Like again, if person A tells person B they don't want something long term, they potentially, drive away someone who can change their view on what long term really could mean. Because if person A chooses to keep it a secret and go with the flow, one of two possibilities can happen. Either A, they still keep it short term and potentially hurt person B, or another option could be they change their views and want to be with them forever. Like that person changes their outlook on life and what they want of a relationship,
Right.
So what do you do? There's a plethora of opportunities and futures here. What's the right answer? I don't believe there's a right answer.
I don't think there'll ever be a real right answer for anything.
And for the person,
just a preferred
and for the person A who tells person B that they want a short term and they go away, they shouldn't feel sad because there's a bunch of other people they can get in a relationship with, and who knows, they can be in a perfect match with someone else too.
And let me
tell you, that Lil Dicky line, you can always find another person like that any other day.
Yeah.
No one's special. And person B, if they went into a long-term relationship and person A bounces because they just want a shorter term, person B shouldn't be sad that, oh, he did me dirty, because there's a bunch of people like that.
Yeah.
There's a world of options like that.
Not to mention, the person who would want a more invested relationship will appreciate that the person was straight up saying, like, you know what, I don't want like a long-term relationship.
And this actually segues into one of the other questions we got, which is, what do I do when I'm hurt from a relationship? It's hard to open up. It's hard to open up, and I understand that from people. Yeah. When you've been hurt, you're afraid to open up because you don't want to get hurt again. Yeah. But how far is too far? I've met, plenty of girls who were damaged from other relationships, and it's hard to talk to them. You want to get to know them, but they don't want to let you get to know them. Well, because
I would also like to quote a great rapper, one of my favorites. Don't save her; she don't want to be saved.
Hey, shouts out to J. Cole.
Because honestly, you shouldn't try to get into a relationship with someone like that to begin with, because obviously they have problems. They gotta get over it. So they need help. They have to find help, with dealing with that, so that they can go back into the world and have a conversation with people and start another relationship, because that's a problem.
All you do is you hurt the other person.
Yeah, exactly.
What, I forgot how the quote goes, but there was something along the lines of, if a girl has a broken heart, if you try to pick up the pieces, you'll end up cutting yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Don't try.
And it's unfair if you're sheltering yourself. That goes back into my firm core belief that fix yourself before you try to get anything else done. Because if you are broken and you try to let someone in while you're broken and you expect them to clean themselves, they can't get away without their hands being broken from the broken shards of glass of your heart. Because at the end of the day, you're just kind of well, this is a lot of work, you know?
Yeah.
And is it fair to the person?
No.
I mean,
It's not.
do you have to be taking care of people?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just kind of interesting and it's kind of weird. Like, how do you put that in perspective? Like, you're afraid to open up. Okay, I get that. But, like, don't open up until you fix yourself because you're just going to hurt the other person.
Right. The whole concept. How are you expected to love somebody else if you don't even love yourself?
Bingo.
You know?
Another one of my...
The truth about life, relationships, it's not that two halves make a whole. You gotta be two wholes to begin with. You're gonna get lost in being this one person together, and that's just, there at a certain point, relying on another person is terrible. But I believe that even if two people are in a relationship, or one of them, or either one or both, or both, have issues, and they grow together and they stick together, and then eventually do end up helping themselves out. That's okay too. But I feel like a lot that gives a lot of people excuses to be like, you know what, like I gotta find somebody that is gonna help me grow and help me fix myself, blah blah blah. That should not even be an option if you haven't even tried yourself, because the only person that can get you out of a pit, can get you out of depression, misery, self-deprecation, anything, is yourself. Because if you expect somebody to extend their arm to help you out, you're going to rely on them and that arm all the time, that when they don't have the time to be there and they're no longer there, you're going to slip back.
And again, that see, this is why we put it on to one topic, one whole subject of the episode, because it goes back to the idea that you can't rely on everyone,
right?
If you don't know how to rely on yourself. And that's my way of saying, I shouts out to those people who are independent, self-reliant, because I feel like they're the ones who legitimately are happy. They learn to let go, they learn how to forgive, they learn how to do all this stuff that other people have trouble with. And I'm not saying it's easy. Again, I'm not saying it's easy. There's probably listeners out there who are maybe personally victimized here because we're talking about their life, but it's good. It's good. We know what your situation is.
Yeah.
This is what we believe. Again, this is our opinion. This is what we believe you should do, and it's learn to love yourself, learn to help yourself, learn to be reliant on yourself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's all you got.
Yeah. Yeah.
People leave, people die, people forget about you, people won't care about you.
We go in, we leave as we come in, alone.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with being by yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I feel like, this is just what I believe, that you can't really be happy until you're happy by yourself.
Right.
Can you be in a room alone and be completely happy?
Yeah. Like, that actually, it reminds me, because I had this conversation with another friend where basically, we were talking about how, like, some people don't like hanging out alone. And he's like, I love hanging out alone. I love going out. I can go to a mall or something by myself and have a great time because I'm fun and I love myself. But with another person who feels maybe insecure, or maybe it's the fact that they're boring, that they can't hang out with themselves, and I realized that I back then that was kind of me. Like that was my situation where I couldn't go out unless I was going out with somebody, because I just didn't want to be by myself or alone, And
I guess, I don't know if you guys picked up what I've been laying down these last couple of episodes, and I'm not trying to give away too much about myself, but I'm just that type that needs to learn to love himself. That's my situation. That's my quote unquote flaw. I need to learn how to be happy with myself, and I'm willing to tell that to everybody because that's the truth. That's how I feel personally.
Yeah.
I'm not happy until I'm happy with myself, and that's something I'm still working on.
Yeah.
So to those people listening that are like, man, I can't do
and
this
that's
alone.
Okay. That's okay. It's okay to admit that. It's okay to say that. It's okay to feel that.
It's also empowering to me. And like I said, to any listeners out there who are feeling the same way I do, and need someone to talk to, like, that's what I'm here for. I'm in the same boat with you. I'm still trying to
Yep.
swim myself to safety on the shore. And, you know, it's hard. I know it's hard. I'm going through that every single day of my life. And, you know, I truly believe in that when I get to that shore, I'll finally be, like, happy with myself, and that will, in every other aspect, make me happy with life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's our opinion on relationships. That actually segues into our next small AMA. Again, this is from our great friend Astrid,
Right.
who I'm not saying this is biased, but I'm actually seeing right now, dating.
Yes.
She sent us a question asking if you could tell yourself from at any point in your life prior any advice, what would you tell them? So I'm assuming this means if you can go back to like any age, time
right
in your past, what age would you jump to, and what would you give? What advice would you give them, or what would you tell them?
Do you have an answer? I think I'm gonna need a little bit to think.
Okay, well, I guess I'll start off
If
by
you have
saying
one,
I can probably maybe jump to my 5th grade culmination.
Okay.
I was culminating from Aragon Elementary School, and we had our culmination at Nightingale Middle School, which is the middle school I was going to head to right after. And I remember walking the stage, and they announced my name. I got my certificate, and all I heard was my family applauding. Nice, endearing. Every kid should be happy their families, they're supporting them.
Yeah.
But I remember there was some guy who passed by. His name was Jerry, I think. And a ton of people cheering for him. And I mean a ton. Like, I'm pretty sure family that wasn't even his family were cheering for him. And I remember feeling sad in that moment, because I was just wondering, why? Why doesn't anyone else see my accomplishments? What makes his accomplishments?
Made you feel less or whatever.
Made me feel less of a person than him.
And
I fucking
that
10.
what you did wasn't like
wasn't good enough, or wasn't a good accomplishment or great of accomplishment.
Right.
I was fucking 10 when I was feeling sad though. Like, am I not worth celebrating? What makes me different? We graduated from the same fucking elementary school. So what made his culmination that much more of a significant milestone than mine?
Right.
Again, I to this day I'm grateful that I knew my family was there to support me, but it was just really mind-boggling, and right. I was sad, and I couldn't even enjoy my meal at what's that hometown buffet, because I was just really starstruck or really dumbfounded. No pun there. Shouts out to Dom. I was just kind of dumbfounded, thinking like, why did he deserve that? And I'm not saying that was just him. There was other people who had the same sort of experience, where people that weren't just that person's family were cheering for him, and I don't know. It was just really, I was just sad for that moment.
It's hard. Yeah.
I guess I would go back to the 10th grade and just tell him, like, you know what, man, it doesn't care. At the end, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I won't spoil what their futures are like, because I know what their futures are right now. But
is it good or bad?
Some of them good, some of them bad. But my advice would be just don't care about other people.
Don't worry, that dude's gonna be a meth addict soon.
I wouldn't tell him anything like that. I would just probably tell him, like, you know what, man, at the end of the day, your family loves you, and that's all that should matter to you. And that's when I should, because I think that's from when I was 10 is when I started being super self-conscious of people. And I actually feel like that's one of the main reasons why I'm really, like, dependent on other people's opinions of me, because, I've since 10, I always felt like I was not good enough for people to cheer on, so since then, I was just kind of like, well,
do you know what I think you should do whenever you feel like what you told me, or what you talked about earlier, about
what?
Your self-deprecation stuff. Think about yourself in the future, and think of what would you say, what would you do, and come back. Like the same question. If in the future if you could come back and tell you now something, what would it be? And always just think about that. And like, and also even now, what would you do if you could go back in time right now to like another to your past? What would you tell them? And then I think that kind of answers your question of like, and like how to love yourself, and how to like get over your issues and stuff.
And yeah, I feel you. And just for the people who kind of want a even better understanding of me, one thing Lou's always told me is, right now in the phase of my life that I'm going through right now, can be described as my Red Hood arc. I like the guy. Everyone hates him. He's very sad. He's suicidal. He's just a very real character to me. Yeah. And I will consider this phase of my life the Red Hood phase. And Lou always reminds me, like, you know what? Eventually I'll turn into Nightwing.
Yeah.
You know, the family star, the successor of Batman, you know? And it's true, they're day and night. You know, Nightwing's the positive, always can do a cheerful guy who you can rely on, and Red Hood's just a depressing guy.
Even with the colors, you know, red
and
really
blue.
angry.
Red's angry, red's
blue,
sad, red's full of fury, and
blue's calm and you know, puts you at ease.
And I will admit that one day I do, like you said, I'll look to the future and can't wait to, like, you know, turn into Nightwing.
Yeah, I'm glad.
What about you, Lou? What would you?
Well, first I want to say, like, the whole reason I told you that right now about, you know, think about what you would tell yourself, because I guess I could realize that that's sort of what would help me. As for me, I would go back to the day I was about maybe 7 or 6 years old, and I was in my old apartment. It was a single apartment because we were poor, and I was sleeping in my mom's bed because I had to go to school the next morning. And I don't know how I thought of this or why I even thought of this. Maybe I repressed the memory of what happened before that. But all I remember is I was in bed and I was going to go to sleep and I was thinking, and then all of a sudden I built this conception of this idea that death would be just like when you go to bed. And like you're shut down like a computer. You're off. You don't exist. You're not here. You know. I know we dream, but I'm specifically talking about when we don't dream. You don't remember being asleep. You go to bed and then you wake up and it's like, holy shit! Like it's like I just went to bed.
It's almost like a blackout.
Yeah, it's like a blackout, and that's what I just started crying. I was so frightened and I started shaking and I almost had a seizure because I was really, really afraid. Like this is great sense of fear and anxiety just came inside me, and I couldn't stop crying, and my mom was just like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm just like, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And I would go back to that moment and I would tell them that I was wrong, even though now I still don't know the answer. But I was a kid back then, so I'd probably believe me. So I would tell him that I found out the truth and that it wasn't that, and that it was going to be okay, and you know, that I didn't have to worry or cry, and that, you know, just live your life being nothing but happy from there and then on. And I feel like that would change so many things, you know, from there on that I wish went differently, you know. And it would certainly make me feel different about myself and the way I see things now.
Right.
So that's what I would do if I could.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wraps up our time today.
Awesome.
No college segment, just because we don't really have.
We didn't get a question. Please send us your questions, guys. We really want to, like, you know, help you out. Especially now that we're getting more information about helping things like in college, like community colleges like EOPNS, Project Leap. If you're going to PCC, I don't know if there's a Project Leap in other community colleges.
Or some form of it, but you know, this Saturday, what is it, the 19th?
Yeah, that's the 9th. No,
the 20th, something like that.
No, it's the.
Let him check the calendar.
The 18th.
This Saturday, the 18th, me and Lou are attending a workshop that helps us become college ambassadors.
Yeah, it's a training.
From that point on, we'll actually be more reliable on sources.
Yeah, we're actually going to
segments are gonna
have a title, and you could actually get in.
Kevin and Lou, the college ambassadors.
Yeah.
But like I said, this wraps up our time.
Yes.
Super serious episode again.
Sorry, I ended up on that touchy-feely.
Actually, that actually reminds me. Before I go to that, like I said, just we apologize for being so late on the episode.
Yeah, we do.
And we apologize for the quality. We may have sidetracked it, which we did come back to. So if you managed to get through that, thank you.
We congratulate
If you're at this point, thank you for...
This is your reward.
Thank you for that. But, you know, we got sidetracked it, but we stayed on subject. Again, relationships are kind of iffy to talk about because not everyone's the same. But if we did, you know, let us know what you thought about our relationship. If you have any feedback on it, we'll probably share it if you want us to share it. And again, that question of should a person be straightforward with the other person saying it's short term, or should they be keep quiet and go for see if they'll change their minds? Yeah. If you tell us your answer, email us, leave it in the comments or whatever.
Or even how it made you feel.
How it made you feel. Just let us know. We want feedback. We want to make sure people are actually feeling something with us.
Yeah.
But like, since Lou ended on that note, I will guarantee you, my idea for being more consistent is having topics ready for the next couple episodes. And Lou actually,
like you're trying to say something.
Lou actually helped me segue into another episode coming up in the future, which is death. Not a lot of people are okay talking with it. I know a couple of people in my life who are very, they're very afraid to talk about it. They're not very open with it because it just reminds them that everything comes to an end.
Yeah.
And me and Lou, I don't know how to put this, but like me and Lou are very confident with death. We understand it. We are studying it, but we understand it. We know everything comes to the end, and we want to be able to help people be okay with it. Because death is scary. Death happens everywhere, and when it happens to someone you're close with, it's the most, it creates an abyss in your heart and in your soul, and we understand that. And me and Lou would like to at least help you talk through it. Me and Lou understand it. We understand it. We know what to put, what it feels like. We know, well, not that we die, but we know what emotions get triggered and stuff, and we just want to be able to like help you understand what death is and all the I guess the comfort that it comes with. I mean, it is okay to be okay with death, Yeah. That's too many okays. It's okay to it's okay to be okay with death.
There's also alright.
Alright. I need more synonyms. Where's my thesaurus?
I don't have.
So anyway, our next episode will be about death and how to be comfortable with it. We're also gonna have an episode coming up on parallel universes, the parallel universe theory, because that's our favorite one. And
yes.
Oh, that reminds me. Next in 2 weeks, we're actually going to Santa Barbara.
Yes.
For a super mega episode with our good friends Saul and Nati, who are going to be joining us at it's Saul's apartment in Santa Barbara. So look forward to that. That's our mega episode. I can't guarantee you it's going to be less than an hour, but it will be more than an hour, possibly two, and we're really excited.
Yes.
We're going to have a new perspective. Who knows? We might even mesh one of our upcoming episodes with them, see what they're comfortable with death or parallel universe theory. So, yeah, like that ends our time here. Don't forget to email us at foolishmindspodcast@gmail.com.
Comment, like, subscribe.
Do all that. Please show us that you're supporting us because, again, like we're trying our best to find time to make this, and it helps to know you guys want this, so we can try even harder to make more time for it.
Definitely, and improve the quality of our content.
No, definitely, and thank you so much. If you heard more than 3 us, comment in this. If you heard more than 3 us, please comment in the section saying Kevin did a bad job of editing.
And then we'll
yeah. So, if I don't even get these,
we'll play a game where we take a shot for every or we said.
Maybe that's in the mega episode. We're gonna listen to our own podcast and take a shot every time we say.
Yes. Oh my god, that's fucking.
It'll just remind me how bad I am at editing this. But thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.
Yeah.
And that's us. I'm Kevin.
And this is Lou. Bye.